Okay guys, today we're going to be doing this fun watercolor resist picture where we're going to first draw with oil pastels our fireworks and then watercolor over top of them and maybe add some splatters, and then we're going to add our buildings up front. Okay, so the first thing you're going to get is a blank paper with nothing drawn on it, and I'm going to show you how to do your fireworks first. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit here. All right, so you're gonna set up oil pastels. Now, there's no right or wrong way to do your oil pastels, but darker colors will show up better. So I used a lot of this light blue in mine, and I feel like it didn't show up very well. So if I had used, let's say, this brighter / darker blue, it probably would have shown up better, okay? Now that being said, if you look, the yellow showed up really good, the green, the red, that pink, and that white did too. So I'm just letting you know that that light blue didn't work as good, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to draw some fireworks, and then you're gonna go draw your own. I'm gonna draw 3 up here to start with, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do to draw your fireworks is I like to put a little dot where I'm gonna draw it, okay? And then you just kind of come out from there with your color. You can even do some that aren't really attached, or you know how fireworks sometimes have those little like poppers that come around where they sizzle or pop. You could even do some of those little tiny dashes and dots, okay? And you can do those to the inside too, all right? Now, if you want your firework to be 2 colors, let's say I want to do some red with that, make it kind of patriotic, I can come back and do a second color with it, right? And that's how you draw fireworks. So you're gonna do a bunch of these everywhere. Let me show you one more time. Let's say I wanted to do a yellow firework, okay? So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna draw my little dot. And I'm gonna draw my lines coming out. You're pressing really hard for this, okay? If your colors are really light, like this, they're not gonna show up when we paint over them. So you really have to press hard. And if we come around and tell you that you didn't press hard enough, then you need to go back and try again. I know that's frustrating, but also it's gonna be more frustrating if you get to the end and you're really excited about your fireworks and they don't turn out very good, okay? And then let's say I wanna do another color with that one. Maybe I'm gonna do some white with that one. Look how tiny this white is. That's okay. I can still use it. Okay, so there's that firework. So these are really big. I drew some smaller ones here, okay? But I want you guys to work on your fireworks for a few minutes, and then if you get done with that, stop, and I'll show you the next step, okay? Okay, you guys, so now I have my fireworks drawn, and I even have a white one in the middle, okay? And what I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna draw some more designs around it. Now, one thing you could do is you could do stars. On this one, I did little dots for stars, but you could also do like actual star shapes like this. That would be fine, okay? I also came back and did some swirlies with the blue, which you certainly don't have to use blue, but I did some little swirlies like this to fill in some space and make it more interesting. Look, I just messed that swirly up. If you mess something up, it's okay. Just kind of blend it in like that. You see how I just kind of blended it in? And by the time you're done painting and everything, nobody's gonna know that it's messed up. If you mess it up and you try to cross it out, goodness, it's gonna look bad, okay? So don't do that, all right? So I'm gonna do some stars and some swirlies, and then I'm gonna show you the painting step, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna use watercolors, and I'm gonna give you guys a big red brush that looks like this. You're gonna get your watercolors, and you're gonna paint your whole sky. Now, sky colors, typically night color is black, and if you wanna paint your sky black, that's fine, but it's gonna be a light black, so it's gonna be more like gray. So let me show you what that would look like. So that's really dark. And if you use it that dark and then you paint over your stuff, it may not show up. So like that's showing up pretty good. Okay, and that's showing up pretty good. But I'm gonna add a little bit more water and kind of spread it out. And at first, you see how my star wasn't showing up, and now it is, okay? So it may not be perfect. Resist is never perfect. Sometimes details that we want to show up don't show up as good as we want them to. That's just kind of part of the process, okay? So if you want to do black, that's fine. Even though we're gonna have black buildings, I would usually say that the black is not contrasty enough. This black is really dark, so I think it'll be okay. Or you could use blues and purples, okay? So I'm gonna use this dark blue, or you could do a little bit of all three, which is probably what I'm gonna end up doing. I'm gonna do some black in a section, and then I'm gonna do some blue. And if for some reason your details are not showing up, one thing you can do is use more water in your paint. So again, if I'm using this paint and I'm using it really dark, do you see how it's kind of covering up some of my details? But if you spread it out really thin and you add a little bit more water to it, it'll show up better, okay? Also, you have to use really thick lines, okay? So I'm gonna do a little bit of blue here. And remember, I used yellow and white in that one, so that's why that's looking like that. And then I'm gonna use this purple as well. And you see how the three colors, when I'm using them, they kind of blend and make this really cool, patchy, beautiful background. Now look, my star wasn't showing up, so I just spread that paint out a little bit, and you see how it's spreading out now, okay? Another thing that you can do, if it's not showing up how you want, right there where that thing is, you can take your paper towel and you can gently dab right there. And that'll pick some of the color up, and it'll give you kind of a cool texture where your fireworks or whatever are as well, okay? So that's another idea, is to take your paper towel. We're not rubbing because that will rip it, but you're going to dab it, okay? So we're gonna do that. You're gonna paint your whole paper all the way to the bottom. I'm gonna continue with blacks and blues and purples, okay? But you could just do one solid color, or on this one, I did really light blues and purples, and that's okay, okay? So it's just up to you. And if you wanna do a little section at a time, and then also come back and dab a little bit where your fireworks are, that helps too, okay? Especially if you want it to be darker. So like if I really wanted it to be dark right there, I could paint it and then dab right there, and it would help it show up too, okay? All right, so you guys work with this for a minute, paint your background. We're not gonna blow dry it because watercolor will just go psh everywhere, but keep working on it. Okay, so now something else that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little bit of splatter painting. I just like how that looks, and this is a great project to do that with. You do still need to get more water on your paintbrush, okay? And then whatever color you're gonna splatter with, and you could even do a lighter color. These paints show up really good. So let's say I'm gonna do this yellow, which my water is really dirty, so my yellow, okay? I got a lot of water on my brush. I rubbed the yellow really good, and now, and you see how you can kind of see the yellow on it? Okay, so you can even do lighter colors, or you can do darker colors, or you can do pink or orange or whatever you want. But if you want to, you can do a little bit of splatters. If it's not showing up and you don't like it, you just stop where you're at and do another color. Oh, there we go. That blue looks pretty, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of splattering. Okay, and then again, we're still not gonna blow dry these. We don't have to blow dry them for our next step, okay? All right, once you're done with that, set it to the side, maybe kind of get a wipey and wipe your spot a little bit, especially if you have splatters, and then wait just a second and I'll show you the next step, okay? Okay, so now it's time to add our buildings, and you can have 4 or 5 of these little black pieces, okay? And you're gonna add them just to your picture. All you're gonna do is put glue on the back, and it's okay if this is even still pretty wet, because wet glue on wet paper is fine. So you're just gonna lay them across. They're gonna be different heights, okay? So maybe you don't want them all to be the exact same height. That'd be good. You do want them to come down kind of close to the bottom, right? Because we don't want floating buildings way up here. We're gonna put them at the bottom. So I have 4, and see how that fills my space really good, okay? If you want a 5th one, that's fine. So you're gonna glue those down, okay? And then you're gonna get a stick that looks like this, and you're gonna cut that stick into windows. I like to do about maybe 5 to 10 at a time, okay? And then you can just glue them on. A good way to do it is if I know I want a window here and here, then I can put a glue dot down, and look, I can put a window there and there. And then if I know I want a window here and here, I can do that. Okay, if you want it to look like some of the windows are on and some of the, like some people have gone home from their buildings, right, or their lights are out, you could kind of skip some sections too. Or if you want to do one in the middle at the bottom, like it's a door or something, that's fine too, okay? So here is where you're gonna finish, and here is mine that I did as my example, all finished, okay? And you're gonna finish these, and then we're gonna get your picture with it, and then you'll get to leave it here and take it home to mark.